Why did my excellent high-level contact suddenly go cold? If you're not born in Canada, but you're now doing business in this country, you're in the right place. Click here the subscribe button, set up the alert, and if the content of this specific video is useful, let us know by clicking the like button. Okay, so let's say you are really connected at the top, right? You operate a business in Canada and you got a contact like the CEO of a company or the president, somebody in the board that you're really interested to do business with that company, and you're really connected at the top. And how do you know you're really connected? Well, let's say your reputation has been very well established in the beginning. Let's say you got this contact through a referral, somebody introduced you, or you were at a relatively exclusive event. And let's say in this event, in this contact that you had, there was great rapport. It's like, yeah, you connected with the person really saw you, really talked to you, and you came across and you kind of almost like you feel like you became friends. It was really good. They were really interested in that conversation. They saw true potential in what you sell as a potential fit for the business that they run. And they even offered the contact. They gave you the contact information, say, yeah, let's get together, let's talk further, send me some information, let's move ahead with this. That's probably what may have happened. And then now, sometimes what you may be experiencing is, well, I contact them and I get some evasive answers like, well, I'm busy, there's my schedule, I'll be traveling, we're in the middle of a big project. There's all these sort of things that sound like a bit of excuses, or sometimes they delegated some information you sent them to somebody in their team, and then this other person didn't follow through, and now you're trying to see, well, what's going on, and like, but the boss said they should be following up with me and they haven't, and then you try some follow-ups, but they are unresponsive. So what's happening? Why this kind of situation happens in Canada? Well, most likely, what may have happened is that you're not even aware that you did not make the life of this high-level individual very easy. What do I mean by that? Let me give you some examples. And let me go and talk about the personal side a little bit, okay? So I grew up in an emerging country and I moved to Canada. I was 28 years old. So I was already working well into my career. Then I came to Canada. One thing I noticed is back home and in many emerging countries, for example, when somebody is looking for a job, they have one CV, the resume, right? What they do, they write everything they're good at in that CV, all the experiences, all the great education, all the skills and all that. And they take that same copy of the CV and the resume and they send to everybody that they're talking to. The first shock I had when I came to Canada, I did my master's and started to look for a job in Canada. It's like people produce different versions of the resume. I mean, you are the same person, you have the same experience, but you tailor and you target your resume to that very specific opportunity that you're going after. Why am I talking about personal resume and we are here in a business channel? Well, because businesses do the same thing. Think about that. Back home, when an employee puts everything in the resume and sends to different potential employers the same copy, the burden to filter, to comb through all that information and decide who is going to be hired is on the person who's hiring. The person who's hiring has to figure out why this resume is good. In Canada, we do that work for the hiring person. We already kind of, first we make the resume very specific, and second we still write a cover letter explaining why we are the best fit. In other words, we're trying to make the life easier for the person who's hiring. Same thing in business. If I'm talking to somebody who's the CEO of a company and I want to sell to their company, I need to make their life easy. I need to make it very clear, right? Why it's a good idea to hire us. It's not just like, oh yeah, they like me and we met at an event and they really like me, they understand, and now I'm gonna discuss the details with their people. That's not how it works in Canada, right? So in businesses, it takes You really need to make it evident and clear to the other side why they should deal with you and not with all the other options that they have. How do we do that, right? Well, good news, we have here our platform called Your Business in Canada, where we guide you by your side as you take the steps to build your success in Canada, and you do that as part of a group of other immigrant business people who are in the same process of building their success in Canada. So let's look here what went wrong in this situation where you had this great connection at the top with a very important and powerful person with decision power, and then suddenly things are quiet. What went wrong and how you can fix it? Let's look at this. First, it's very hard to know if this contact specifically is lost or not. Maybe it's the contact is alive, but they're just busy. They're just doing many other things, and they say, oh, yeah, I got the email from this person that I met at that event, but I'm busy, I cannot, it's just a matter of focus. That's the case. What can be done is you can just help redirect the focus and reactivate the contact. That's one scenario. The other scenario is you may have lost already the possibility. They may have already arrived at the conclusion that your business is not ready to deal with them. So in this case, you will thank them for the time you spent together so far, but you put them in your CRM so you can go back to them. And when you go back to them next time, you go reporting already some success. Because the reason why they arrive at the conclusion you're not ready is that probably you weren't. But now if you show them, if you give them evidence that you have progress, maybe they're saying, I guess now they're ready. So let's talk to them now, right? So either for now, if it's a matter of just refocusing and taking the next steps now, or for future contacts, if this one is kind of non-responsive, it's not going to give you any results, the recipe is the same. And this is what I'm going to tell you now, right? For now in the future, it's all the same idea. First, you need really to understand that in Canada, it's a multi-person, multi-factor decision. It's not because you met the CEO, the chairman, somebody important, the owner, the president, that's the only person who's going to make the decision. There's multiple factors with many people from finance, technical team, maybe even HR, that are going to be thinking about what are the implications of choosing you as a supplier, right? So understand that. You need to understand it's not one person that you're trying to make happy. It's a system. It's a group, right? And you need to do your homework, right? You need to look at all these aspects that are being considered, like who else is involved in the decision? You can ask that question. Who else needs information from us? So if you decide to proceed, go ahead, right? How can we know if we're ready? What can we do to be ready? This kind of thing is very valid, right? So do your homework, considering all these other aspects, and then prepare. If something is not ready, no Canadian buyer is going to decide to start to do business with you and then figure out other details later. Canadians will very likely in the beginning think, well, but you don't have this, and the other thing ready. So yeah, come back when you're ready. The guy's like, no, but sign here, and then I'm going to be ready. They're saying, no, you're not ready now, so I'm moving on. And then you have to demonstrate in very clear, concise materials that you're ready. Your readiness has to be evident in some short summary for initial distribution, like a one-pager. Yeah, you made a contact with that CEO, somebody on the top, and now you put in their hands something very clear they can send to other people. So people say, oh yeah, no, that's good. That seems to be a good opportunity. My line says, oh, I met this guy, he's a great guy, and I met this person, seems to be a great company, you should talk to them. People are going to go, well, why? And then you need to have the second set of materials, which is really the detailed package that you need to be ready for, what we call like the grilling sessions, right? It's when people are going to put your value proposition under the microscope and are going to ask you a lot of very hard, difficult questions. Say, yeah, but how do we do this? How do you do that? And you need to have anticipated the kind of questions they're going to have through your homework, through your preparation, because then when it's the real time to answer the questions, you have the answers. It's not about, oh yeah, let me think about, oh yeah, oh no, we don't have that now, but we can put that together easily for you. That's typically not something that people believe. Okay? So again, if you have this great contact at the top and then suddenly the contact went cold, these are the reasons why, and this is how you fix it. There's 2 more videos here giving you more details about this topic. Good luck.